Hello violas! Today's lesson is page 10 in Essential Elements Book 2, and we are going to be working today on dotted quarter notes. So last time we worked on dotted half notes, which are 3 beats long. A dotted quarter note, same principle, when you add a dot you add half the value of the note. So a quarter note is normally 1 beat, half of one beat would be a half a beat or an eighth note, so a dotted quarter note is a beat and a half. So there are a couple of different ways to write a note that is a beat and a half. You could use a tie. When you tie two notes of the same pitch together, it basically combines them together. So a quarter note tied to an eighth note would really be equivalent to a dotted quarter note. So the yellow box on the top of the page kind of clarifies that concept. We're going to start with a rhythm rap number 37 just to get used to this rhythm. And for this one, they've given us some tied notes. So the first measure has a quarter note tied to an eighth note, and then the third measure has a dotted quarter note, and those are basically played the same. Let's go ahead and do this one in the air. Number 37, rhythm rap. 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So similar to the last one, you do need to be regulating your bow speed. When you have a longer note that is balanced out by a shorter note, so a longer down bow and then a shorter note is an up bow, you need to move the up bow faster than the down bow. And so on number 38, the dot counts. Be thinking about slow bows and fast bows and how you need to balance your bow speed and work on your bow distribution. Okay, and we're going to be playing mostly in the middle of the bow here. Here's number 38, the dot counts. Next, we're going to move on to number 39, which is watch the dot. This one doesn't use any of the tied ones. It uses only the dotted quarter notes as the beat and a half notes. And that is going to be more typical of what you're going to see in music. You're not often going to see a quarter note tied to an eighth note if it's on a strong beat. Sometimes if it's a note that's on a weak beat, they'll do that just to clarify where the beat is. Or when you most often find the ties is when you've got a note that starts in one measure and it goes into the next measure. But they don't normally combine notes together as a tied note if they could write it as a dotted note. So number 39, we're going to play Watch the Dot, and just make sure that you're counting carefully. And remember, that dot does add to the value of the notes. So it's very, very important that you do count that extra half beat when you have a dotted quarter note. Here is number 39, Watch the Dot. Called D major sequence. It uses again a dotted rhythm in some of the measures, and this is just basically a descending D major scale. To play dots on the move. It uses the first 5 notes, the lowest 5 notes of the D major scale. Here is number 41, Dots on the Move. So just remember, as you're doing those dotted notes, we do need to be varying our bow speed and keeping the bows in about the same part of the bow, which should be the middle at this point. Let's go ahead and we're going to play the D Major Bonanza. This one has a new skill in it, the fermata, is when you hold the note or the rest longer than normal. So anytime you see that symbol above a note, you're going to hold that for usually about an extra half of the note value, so an extra beat in this case. So D Major Bonanza is number 42. This is a duet, so I'm going to go ahead and play the A part first, and you are welcome to play along with me. You could play the B part, or you could play the A part along with me. And then I'll play the B part, and then if you'd like, you could back up the video and try playing the other part along with me. Good, and then we'll go ahead and play the B part. Did you notice how that last note was a little longer than a half note? You've enjoyed the pieces on page 10 of the book, and as soon as you have a handle on these pieces, you should move on to learn the pieces on page 11. Good luck and happy practicing.